Hi, welcome to this overview on installing and setting up Emma for Salesforce. Pretty straightforward. Usually a Salesforce system administrator or consultant will do this, but hopefully from this guide you'll see how easy it is to install and set up. Now I'm currently on our AppExchange listing. This is where you click the Get It Now button to install the package. If you've gone to our support site, you'll see on the installation and setup article there's a link to that same listing, so it's going to take you to the site here. So when we click Get It Now, we'll be taken to a page that says where do you want to install this package, and I'm getting this message because I'm logged in. If you're not logged into the AppExchange, you'll be asked to put in your Salesforce details. So these are the details that you would use for Salesforce to log in into your production environment. And then you get an option of choosing production or sandbox. So quick note on that: if you install into a production, then it's going to basically give you a 14-day free trial so you can play about the product and make sure you're happy with it. If you install in a sandbox, you do get a longer trial because you can't purchase in a sandbox. And it's purely for testing purposes only. So you will be able to connect to Emma. You'll be able to do some testing and make sure that you're happy with it. But to purchase the product, you must install into production. So if you're installing in a sandbox, you will need to repeat this step and install it in production if you decide to buy. Now I'm going to click on Install in the Sandbox. Okay, so after clicking that button, now I'm presented with a screen just to make sure I'm happy with the terms and conditions. So it's going to install a trial, latest version. It's going to be 14 days and it's site-wide, which means we can let all users or no users use the product. I'm going to tick the confirm and click install. Salesforce can take a few seconds for this to load. So the next screen is simply going to be what profile do I want to use, and you should choose the default Salesforce System Administrator. And then you're just going to click next and install. And then once completed, you'll receive an email from Salesforce telling you the product has been installed and you're ready to try it. So I'm now going to switch over to Salesforce and show you what it looks like in Salesforce. And we'll notice as an administrator, when we now type in Emma on the app launcher, we see two apps, one of them being the admin app. Now, as soon as you go to this page, you're going to be automatically asked to connect. So this is where you go and get your credentials from Emma. So you log into Emma and you go to your user, and there's a spot there for the API keys that you need to fill in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. Those details filled in, I'm then going to hit the validate connection button and it's going to tell me whether it can successfully connect, which it has done in this case. Then I'm going to hit the connect key. Now what that's going to do is it's going to kick off the very first sync. Importantly, what this is doing is pulling data in from Emma into Salesforce. We're only pushing records into our custom objects, so we're not creating new accounts, contacts or leads at this point. We're simply just setting up the product. In addition to that, we're adding our product to page layouts. So if you were to go to the contact or lead pages, for example, you'll see two new related lists for our product. One is the membership records and the other is email tracking. And again, you can see that information within other videos, and we've got some call-offs to that. Now for the initial sync, it can take a little bit of time to process because it's doing it for the first time. Subsequent syncs are generally incremental. So we can let that happen and navigate away safe in the knowledge it's running. So the user security section here allows you to assign permission sets. We've got that detail covered in another video. It's worth taking a look at. But effectively, this is the bit where you're just going to let people have different levels of access to our product. And then the other spot you might want to look at is general options, and again we've covered this in some detail on what these different options do, but just to help and for a bit of speed, the first three options are all around how you might work with Salesforce's standard email opt-out field that appears on the contact or lead object, and again plain English. We also have additional help tips, and you just simply turn them on or off and they're ready from the point you turn them on, or they deactivate from the time you point them off. Just beneath that, there are two options working with Emma Archive. So if that option's enabled, for example, this one here, what we'll do is we'll delete or we'll set the status in Emma to archived if you delete a contact or lead, or if you delete their email address if these two options are enabled. And then finally, trigger Emma field changes in workflow. So if in Emma you have some workflow set up, so for example, when someone adds being added to a list, send out an email automatically, and you want to trigger that, you just need to make sure this option's on. By default, it's off, just to make sure that when you first connect and start adding your data, you're not accidentally triggering information. So that's install and setup, as you can see, pretty straightforward. And with this done, the product's installed, page layouts are set up, options are chosen, security is enabled, and then it's just a matter of using the product. And again, if you're new, worth checking out the Getting Started video. That sort of picks up from this video and kind of shows how the product works from a user perspective. As always, if you have any questions, please take a look at our support site, and you can also raise a ticket to us via the contact form. Thank you.